There we go. All right, everybody, welcome to this edition of Mayor Cat, a one-shot game as part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. So the idea of this game is that the mayor of our city is corrupt and incompetent, and there's only one candidate that can take them down in their re-election race, and that is a cat. So all of us are the human staffers trying to help the cat get elected as mayor. So the tone of this game is wacky, zany. We want to kind of poke fun at all of the stupid aspects of local politics as we play this. And so we can, excuse me. So before we get into picking our characters and everything like that, although I see some folks have already started to get some ideas over there, let me add a tab to our thing here. And I want to take a second to put in any lines and veils that people have, anything that we don't want to come up. And I'll start the first one, which is as a line, no serious politics. So we can have ridiculous issues, petty issues, you know, the kinds of things that reasonable people squabble about, but I don't want us to, like, I don't want to have a campaign issue be like the candidates' positions on the Black Lives Matter movement or abortion or something where it's like a serious political issue. And I know this is a little nebulous, but I think steering towards the sillier stuff is going to be where this game is going to shine. Does anybody else have any either lines or veils, things that we either don't want it to have in the game at all, or things that we can like reference, but let's not kind of keep it off screen, that you'd like to call out in advance?
I have a quick question.
Sure.
I don't remember from the session listing. Did you plan on using like X card or any other like specific tool?
Yeah. So we'll have the X card. So if something comes up later on that you didn't think of in advance,
yeah,
that we want to edit out, we've got the X card in the Roll for Your Party app there. I'll repost the Roll for Your Party. Does everybody have access to the character keeper and the things? Probably in the chat anyways, just in case. All right, well, if nobody else has any other specific lines or veils, we can, again, always add to that as we go. If something comes up in each side, let's line or veil that as we go. So let me give you a little overview of how the game works. So this is a GM-less game, so we're all going to be kind of on the same level of our contribution to the story that we're going to tell about the cat campaign. So the first thing we need to do is give a name to the cat and the incumbent mayor. So does anybody have an idea of the name of the cat that we're campaigning for, or the name of the incumbent mayor that we're trying to unseat? Somebody just shout something out for us here.
Oh, the naming a cat is like such an emotional thing. I'm having such a hard time just like dropping something in. Oh my god.
Well, shout out suggestions so we have like a list we can whittle down.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I would love if the cat's full name started with like a title, like a doctor. Doctor, I think, would be a very good title for our cat.
Okay.
That's something ridiculous. Dr. or Dr. Ruffles.
Dr. Ruffles? What pronouns should we use for Dr. Ruffles? Nobody has a preference. I'll throw out she. So Dr. Ruffles is a she, her cat. How about the incumbent mayor? And we should also maybe at the same time pick a name for our city. So that could be, it could be a real city, it could be a made up one. When I played this before, I was playing it with my partner, and so we made it Pittsburgh where we live, and the game just got so Pittsburghy, it was ridiculous. Which we're all in different cities here, so we're not going to quite get that aspect, but it can be either a real city or a made up name. Does anybody have any thoughts, preferences about where we are?
I'm fine with it being made up. Again, it's just names, It's the weirdly tricky stuff.
The hardest thing in role playing.
Yeah.
Games.
Yeah. I have to make a name doc at some point.
Yeah.
I'm on fantasy name generators, and I just got I think a pretty okay name for the incumbent. I'm going to pitch it here.
Sure.
Jefferson Ellis.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I wanted to pitch proper snooty. What's a proper snooty American
that works.
Old class name, yeah.
So Jefferson Ellis sounds like a he him.
Yeah, let's go he him.
Yeah. Okay.
Jefferson Ellis Starship. Sure.
And for the city, if nobody has any other preferences, how about Queensport?
Ooh.
Yeah, coastal city here. All right. And so Sarah, I see Sarah is just the icon now. Sarah, are you still?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Just my internet wasn't
Okay.
So.
Okay, just checking. Just making sure we weren't leaving you behind there. All right. So Dr. Ruffles has entered the race to run against the corrupt and incumbent Jefferson Ellis. So each of us will take one of these little blocks and come up with you'll need a name for your character, pronouns for your character, and you'll have to pick a role. And when you pick the role, the special thing will fill in. And so we should each have a different role in the campaign. So you can be policy advisor, press secretary, volunteer coordinator, technology chief, legal counsel, or fixer. And you'll see that special move pop up. And the reason that's important is that as we're playing the game, when your character does something, you're going to point to another player and ask them how that works out. So if I say, my character is going to hop in the car and race downtown to try to get to the ribbon cutting before the incumbent gets there. Right? Then I would say, Leandro, tell me how that works out. And so then Leandro would decide, do I make it in time? Do I not? Do I, fly off the bridge in my car because I'm driving too fast? Do I the other person will come up with what happened. But when you do your special thing, then you get to decide. You get to narrate it all. So you have total narrative control over how your thing works out when you do your special move there. So we each pick our role. I'll go last once everybody else is happy with their role that they've picked out. And as you're coming up with your role, you should take a look at the questions tab, and you'll see that list of starting questions. So you want to think up your answer to each of those. And then we'll kind of go through those and talk about them once everybody's got something filled in here on the character sheet.
The staffer to our right. I just want to make sure that I know who I'm blaming.
Yeah, so we'll treat that as just going to the right across the little blocks on the character keeper, and then wrapping down to the second row.
Gotcha.
There.
Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah, so the person to your right would be Leandro's character.
Perfect. Thank you.
Sorry, I got a little distracted with some technology problems. Are we just picking like which role we want to do now?
Yeah, so go to the last block there on the character keeper on the characters page, come up with a name for your character and pick one of those roles, and then click over to the questions tab, and you're going to want to answer those 4 things under starting questions about your character.
Gotcha. Oh, we answer all 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can just I don't have a slot for it on the character keeper. You can just think of your answer, and then we'll kind of go around and share all of those things.
Cool.
Okay, so we got a fixer, a legal counsel, technology chief, and then so Larry, once you pick your role, I'll pick mine. I'll go last since I'm the one that created this thing.
Some reason your guys' stuff is not showing up in my character keeper. I'm just refreshing it now, see if it's going to help or not. I have a really crappy laptop, and it's causing me some trouble right now.
Okay.
I may... I could switch over to an iPad if push comes to shove. Not that it's great, but...
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to grab the iPad and see if that works any better.
Okay.
I only just noticed that last question. You have us all at each other's throats from the off, huh?
Yeah, that's the idea.
Why can't we unite as one again with our candidate? Our candidate's a cat.
Look, you go to the polls with the campaign staff that you have, not the campaign staff you wish you had.
Yeah, and so speaking of the polls, I'll fill in a little more about the rules now that Larry's back getting set up. So you see that little block that says the polls. So I'm going to put a little X in there. As we start the game, Dr. Ruffles and Jefferson Ellis are neck and neck in the polls. And so as the game goes, the polls are going to shift up and down. So as we play out a scene, the way that it'll work is that we'll each have a chance to start off a scene, or create a scene for us. And on the questions tab, you see that list of scene prompts. So you will design the scene around one of those prompts, either having our campaign do that thing or having us respond to the incumbent's campaign doing that thing, right? So the scene could, if you want to use the get an influential endorsement one, you could be like, all right, this scene is about like us getting this endorsement. We're going to like have a press conference and so is going to endorse us. Or you could say, we just found out that the incumbent's campaign got this important endorsement, and now we have to do something about that. We have to like respond to that in some way. So you can do either one, whichever, if I can speak tonight, whichever one of those you think makes sense, makes for an interesting scene. We play out the scene. All of us as characters can be involved in the scene in some way, even if we're physically separated, or the campaign staff is always in touch by cell phone and texting and so forth. When you do something in the scene, if it's your special thing, you just describe how you do it and how it works out. If it's not your special thing, then you point to another player and ask them to tell you how it works out. Anybody can add stuff to the scene in terms of, you know, things that NPCs or the incumbents campaign is doing, or describing the scenery around us and the like places we're in and all those kind of things. Everybody can contribute anything that you want to for that. The only time we roll the dice is when we want the cat to do stuff. So the cat would like to just kind of sit and be a cat and do cat stuff. So if you want to get the cat to do something in particular, which includes submitting to human handling. So it could be like you want to sick the cat on somebody, like go like, you know, claw that guy's face. Or it could be like, I just want to put the cat in the carrier to go to this next place we have to go, but the cat has to like let me, you know, pick her up and put her in the carrier. That's when you roll some dice. So each of us is going to start with one die. So where it says dice at the bottom, everybody can click that over to 1. We all start with 1 die. And then there's an additional die that's kind of out there available. That's the cat die. So if we were playing this in like face-to-face, we'd set a die on the sheet that records the info about the cat. Over the course of the game, you'll accumulate additional dice. And so when you want to get the cat to do something, you're going to grab all of your dice plus that cat die and roll them all. So in the online format, that means you go over to roll to your party and you roll your number of dice plus 1 d6s. All right. So if we're doing something in this very first scene, you'd be rolling 2d6 because you've got your 1 plus the cat die. All right. And what you're trying to get is at least 1 die showing a 6. So if you get one die that shows at least 1 die that shows a 6, then the cat will do something that raises their standing in the polls. So that doesn't necessarily mean, it's not necessarily success or failure at what you're trying to get the cat to do. What the dice determine is, does the way the cat does whatever it is improve their standing in the polls or not? So if you get at least 1 6, they're going to go up in the polls. So we're going to move that X on the polls up 1 slot. If you don't get at least 1 6 on those dice, then you move that X down 1 slot. And the polls don't go above or below an 80-20 split, because each candidate has this like hard core of supporters that will always back them no matter what. But so yeah, if you're trying to get the cat to do something, you roll all of your dice plus that cat die. If you get at least 1 6, the cat does something that makes them go up in the polls, something that the voting public approves of, or that makes the cat look good. If you get no 6s, then the cat does something that turns people against our campaign. After you do that, you discard all of your dice. The cat die stays with the cat, so you know everybody that rolls gets to grab that cat die. And during the scene, at least one character has to be actively taking care of the cat at all times. So you might be petting the cat or feeding the cat or playing with the cat or doing something. And if you realize at some point during our scene, like if we get really into it and we realize at some point that nobody is paying attention to the cat, if you call that out, if you say, hey, wait a minute, who's taking care of Dr. Ruffles? Then you get an additional die, but then you have to describe what kind of trouble the cat has gotten into due to being unsupervised. And there's some suggestions there on the questions tab. You don't have to be restricted to just those, but the cat might have gone missing, knocked something off a table, eaten something they shouldn't have, etc. So that's one way that you get more dice, is by pointing out when we've forgotten about taking care of the cat. The other way is when we get to the end of the scene, and so whoever started off the scene is kind of responsible for making the official decision of when we've reached the end of that particular scene. At the end of the scene, you also award a die to whichever other character you are jealous or resentful of because of what they've done in this scene. So another way to generate some drama there. You're going to pick one person that that you think is like getting on the cat's good side, and so you're jealous of them or you're resentful of how they've treated you in the scene. You're going to give them a die. So over time, you can accumulate more dice, but then once you finally roll them to do something with the cat, then you go back to 0. So we're going to go around once, each frame one scene. Then we have the debate, which I'll explain when we get to that section. We'll have a debate between Dr. Ruffles and Jefferson Ellis. Then we'll go around once more. Each of us will do another scene. And then at the end, we have the actual election. So election day comes at the end of that second round of scenes. And on election day, we look at the polls here. And you'll see in the column there next to Dr. Ruffles' percentage of the polls, there's some numbers. What we do is we roll that many D6, and if we get at least 1 6, then the cat wins the election. If we do not get at least 1 6 on there, then the incumbent wins the election. So that's how we figure out the election at the very end there. So why don't we go around and each introduce your character a little bit, and give us your answers to the first 3 of those starting questions. So what dastardly act of corruption, mismanagement, or outrage has the incumbent committed? Why, aside from the obvious, would this town never vote for a cat for mayor? And what day job did you leave in order to join Mayor Cat's campaign? And so we'll do that. And once we have introduced all the characters, then we'll go around a second time and spark some drama here with that last question. Why do you wish Mayor Cat would fire the staffer to your right? Does that sound good? All right, so I'll go ahead and go first because I'm first in line on the character keeper. So my character is Teresa Mills, she, her, and it looks like I am the policy advisor. So I can find a study proving that a proposed policy would be effective. And so I am, in my previous job, I was a TV weather person. So I was on the local weather station, the local TV news station. I did the weather, and the outrage that the incumbent committed was, so we're Queensport, we're a coastal city, and the Mayor Ellis decided that it would be cool and good for tourism if he brought in a whole bunch of dolphins to swim in our bay, but our bay is actually really polluted. And so the dolphins grew legs. And so now we have dolphins walking around in the streets of our city, which is a potential problem.
I have a very important question.
Yes.
Can they vote?
That's a good question. Maybe that's a campaign issue. So I think this has happened since the last election. So it hasn't been, there's no precedent one way or the other on dolphin voting. Okay, and why, aside from the obvious, would this town never vote for a cat for mayor? Well, this town is very protective of its sea life, and a cat's favorite dish is fish. And so there's a lot of voters, I think, out there that that have some problems with fish-loving cats. Okay, so that's my character. So Sarah, introduce us to Emma Berger.
All right. Emma Berger, in her previous life, was a personal shopper for a high-end clothing company. She quit that job when she heard about Dr. Ruffles because, of course, that's exactly what this town needs. The dastardly act of outrage that the incumbent has was he didn't make it to the ribbon cutting ceremony at the diner's grand reopening. It's like the only diner and everyone is there, but he did not come, and people noticed.
All right.
And there's also, I think, a dog, like a whippet whippet race that happens biannually. And they're worried that in electing a cat for mayor would put a damper on that, or maybe they'd even leave town entirely, go somewhere else.
Okay. Excellent. So Barry, introduce us to your character.
Tonight I'll be playing Harper Armstrong, pronouns she, her. She is the legal counsel for Dr. Ruffles' campaign. The job that she left in order to join the campaign is that she was a paralegal instructor. She both taught paralegal students as well as skydiving lessons.
Okay.
The dastardly act of corruption, mismanagement, or outrage that Jefferson Ellis has committed is that he launched the ill-conceived Queen Sport initiative to try and attract a USA rugby team, despite having no sports arena, no nearby airport, and no demonstrated local interest in rugby.
Okay.
And aside from the obvious, this town would never vote for a cat mayor because the Great Queensport Fire of 1972 was said to have been started by a cat. It cost dozens of firefighters their afternoons and actually made several of them late for supper.
Okay. Excellent. Leandro.
Yeah, so tonight I'll be playing Blake Bosworth. She, her. She is a recent she just returned from college and she got a job as an intern at a social media manager for a clickbait website that specializes in, you know, what the kids like these days. And when I say social media manager, I mean she posts links to Facebook every 15 minutes and to Twitter every 10. It's fairly rote, and you know what the kids like these days. She like to think she's a kid, but no, she's like 27. The questions: what dastardly act of corruption, mismanagement, outrage has the incumbent committed? Well, okay, so Queensport has, like, I think, and this is me importing something from my city, which I don't know if it will translate across the pond, but Queensport has this, like, you know, they have a very nice bus system, and they just opened like the first newest bus line in Queensport, and our incumbent mayor, Jefferson Ellis, took the first ride from beginning to end. And when he got to the very end, you know what he did? You know this horrible thing he did? He didn't say thank you to the bus driver. Fiend.
All right.
Yeah. Why, aside from the obvious, would this town never vote for a cat for mayor? Well, cat doctors are frowned upon in Queensport. You know, they're fine. You know, Queensport's fine with all doctors, egalitarian. But you know, cat doctors, you know, it's just in that gray area, you know.
Do you mind if I make a suggestion?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he didn't go to a good enough school.
He got his doctorate and like I'm down with that.
I love that.
Oh my God.
All right. And Larry, tell us about Dick Dickerson.
So I think Dick Dickerson he doesn't have a former job. I think he's actually a high school student, but he's not telling anybody. I'm trying to figure out like I think maybe he tried to like get involved in like student body politics, but like personality wise, he's just like not palatable. And so he decided that he's going to go into like real politics as like a behind the scenes person. Yeah, I think he's like quite dislikable actually. Um, let's see, what were the other questions? I think this town would never vote for a cat. I don't know. I mean, maybe for some reason, like there is like a particularly like large concentration of people who are allergic to cats in this town. So like most people are actually going to become like, yeah, violently ill whenever in the presence of our candidate.
The mayor.
The
All
mayor.
right.
I haven't thought of anything like particularly good for the corruption, mismanagement, outrage thing.
We can also come back to you if you want to throw that in. We'll go through and do this last bit and give you a chance to think a little more. So now you had the technology issues that took up your thinking time there. So,
yeah.
All right. So the last thing to decide is, why do you wish that Mayor Cat would fire the staffer to your right? So going from left to right across the character keeper here. So Teresa, I think, wishes that Mayor Cat would fire Emma because, and you know, you can, Sarah, you can tell me if this sounds good, but I think Emma, with her background as a personal shopper, has been buying a little higher end cat food for Dr. Ruffles than Teresa thinks we really need, that we should be putting that, putting those campaign funds to better use than buying the fancy cat food.
Perfect. Writing this down.
Okay, and so then you get to tell us why you think Mayor Cat should fire Harper.
All right. Barry, is it cool if my character has a crush on yours?
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay. So yeah, Emma's got a crush on Harper, and she just can't stand seeing her around the office all the time.
Okay. Sounds good. And so, Barry, why does Harper want Mayor Cat to fire Blake?
Oh, this is entirely personal. Blake won't like help me pad the bids on all of my eBay auctions, and I have like a lot of Beanie Babies to unload here.
Okay.
You have to learn to live with the Beanie Babies.
Sounds
I'm
good.
not that kind of person. I need these out of my house.
And Leandro, why does Blake want Mayor Cat to fire Dick?
Well, on the outside, it's because Mayor Cat deserves better staffers than, this kid who doesn't know much, who wants to get involved in politics, who believes that teenagers are into that. Well, not teenagers because they don't know, but they can probably tell. But really, what the selfish, irrational reason why Blake wants Dick Dickerson out there is because she sees too much of herself in him. She sees she sees back in her youth, back in her high school days when she was involved in politics and she believed in the system, and then the system in the 6 years just crushed all goodwill from her. So she just very irrationally thinking, you know what, kid, you should just take your punches now instead of believing in anything.
You don't want to end up like me, a social media manager.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. And Larry, why does Dick want Mayor Cat to fire Teresa?
So you don't know this, Teresa doesn't know this, but I actually approached Teresa as a high school student. I now have a fake mustache, so you totally can't tell who I am. And I approached her to see whether she would endorse me for like student body president. And maybe I blame her for my like resounding defeat because she didn't do it.
Yeah. I think that until joining this campaign, I think Teresa had a very clear ethics rules of the Meteorological Society said you can't get involved in politics, you can't endorse a candidate, you can't use the weather report to make snide commentary about political issues. And so I think I turned Dick down hard on that endorsement request.
Oh my God, I love that it's her professional organization and not even the TV station.
Yeah, it's the American Meteorological Society says you can't do that on the air. And actually, I think that now Teresa makes her own videos to put out that are like a weather report that's like overtly political and about this campaign, and post them because she's a recognized face, right? Everybody in town used to watch her do the weather every night.
Well, that just enrages me even more.
Right, yeah. Oh, you wouldn't do that for me, but you'd do it for Dr. Ruffles. Oh, I see how it is. Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right, so I think we got a great cast of characters here. We're gonna have a fun campaign against Jefferson Ellis here. So, folks, are we good if we jump right into the first round of scenes? Because it's only 8:44, so I figure maybe we'll do the first round of scenes, then take, unless anybody needs a break right now. So Sarah, is that a yes, let's go, or yep, yes, you need a break? Oh, you're good. Okay. All right, so let's dive into the first round of scenes. So like I said, for this first round of scenes, on the questions tab, you've got the scene prompts. So you'll pick one of those and describe how either you did it or the incumbents campaign did that thing, and kind of set the scene for us. Where are we? What's going on? And then everybody else just jump in with what your character is doing. If you have ideas about the scenario or those kinds of things, just jump in and do them. Remember that when your character does something, you point to somebody else and ask them how it works out for you, unless it's your special thing. And if you want to get the cat to do something, that's when we do the dice rolling there. So I'm first on the list, so I will go first. And so I think we're going to start with the incumbents campaign making a divisive campaign promise. So I think that that this all comes about. We're at campaign headquarters, and so somebody give me an idea of what our campaign headquarters looks like. What kind of a place are we in? Somebody want to throw out an idea?
You go first, Sarah. You talk.
Okay. We are in the local mall. It's kind of started to clear out in recent years, and so real estate is really cheap. So we've taken up in probably like what used to be the Sephora.
Okay, that's great. Okay.
So like I'm pretty open.
I think the property managers hate us because we blow the circuit breakers all the time with like hot plates and like burn coffee in the office, like late into our campaign evenings, which the smell lingers around until morning and disturbs the mall walkers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that sounds great. Okay, so we're in this former Sephora. I think probably they like took all the merchandise out, but maybe all the the signage and stuff is still kind of there, and the counters and racks and stuff are probably still kind of in this space. So yeah, so we're in there, and we've got the TV on, and we are watching the local news. So it's my former newscast. They've got a new weather person who, I think doesn't know their cumulonimbus from their occluded fronts. And there's, we're waiting for the weather report to come on, and then there's sort of like breaking news, and they have like little thing plays, and the graphic where this like breaking news logo like swoops out around. And the anchor, and so let's make some space on let's just, how about over to the side of the polls, we can jot down any other NPCs whose names that we want to remember. So we'll call the news anchor Kevin McQuillan. The main news anchor at the local TV station, and he says, we're taking you live to a press conference by Mayor Jefferson Ellis, who has a big announcement for us, and switches to a camera that is at the waterfront. So it's on one of like the docks there, and Jefferson Ellis has a little like podium set up, and he's there, and he says, my fellow Queensportians, for too long, these mutated dolphins have roamed our city streets, but I say enough is enough. If I'm reelected mayor, I will bring in killer whales who will eat the dolphins. It is a method of ecological pest control, and we will solve this dolphin problem once and for all. And all the people that are there are like the people that he invited, so they like clap for him as he makes this announcement. So yeah, tell me what y'all are doing as we're watching this announcement.
I think Blake is not kind of watching this announcement. Said what she was doing before the announcement, that she's got Dr. Ruffles kind of in front of her, just not doing anything, and trying like, all right, at some point, it's been an hour. At some point, Dr. Ruffles is going to do something. We're going to gif it, and it's going to be, it's going to be viral. Any minute now. Any minute now.
So is Blake even really paying attention to the TV?
No, not really.
Okay.
I think she's eating Cheetos while she's pointing the phone at.
Yeah, and I think Teresa's like right next to you, but you're like facing the other way, and I'm like poking you in the shoulder. I'm like, this is big. He's gonna bring in killer whales. Like, what the heck?
Oh man, killer whales would be awesome, wouldn't they?
Wait, you think that's awesome? Like, come on.
Well,
that's really.
No.
And I kind of look over to everybody else and like, Emma, Harper, Dick, back me up on this, right? Killer whales. That's a stupid idea, right? Am I right about that?
How would they even get on land, Blake?
Well, how did the dolphins get on land? We'll have our port take care of it.
I don't want to get eaten by a killer whale on my way to work, okay?
Well, I don't want to catch a cold, but that can still happen.
Harper is sitting at a computer looking up the logistics of how you would even like transport a whale, and somehow has ended up on like a Star Trek forum.
Yeah, I think Dick being in his demographic, he's obviously not watching the TV. He's watching all this on his his phone, and I think, yeah, he's like, I think we can spin this. I mean, like, he brings in the killer whales, and the killer whales are going to start eating people, and then we'll come in and we'll get rid of the killer whales, and it'll be a net positive for us.
Okay, but how are we going to get rid of the killer whales, though? So if a killer whale eats a dolphin, what kills the killer whale?
Sabotage.
Okay. Tell me more.
Well, they're going to bring him from somewhere, right? Like trucks or let's see, who was it? Harper, you're looking up stuff, yeah?
Yeah, it turns
What are
out
you finding on
transparent
rail
aluminum.
transport?
It turns out that transparent aluminum hasn't been invented yet, so I'm really not sure how they're going to get them here.
Damn.
I don't know why bringing killer whales will be a problem. Look, all we have to do is, get the dolphin vote then. Clearly, Mayor Jeff Snellis there has already written the dolphins off. We haven't, right?
I didn't think that had been sorted. What have you heard?
Absolutely nothing. Which means it's a complete blank slate right now, and we can get the jump on the Alice campaign.
Okay.
So here's the plan. Anyone know where you can buy either we can get an inflatable dolphin, and I want to make a GIF of the new mayor hugging a dolphin, or I don't know. Do you know any dolphins?
I can get you one.
Okay. Wait, an inflatable one or a real one?
What do you want? Dr. Ruffles? What would you prefer?
Is this the part where we have to get the cat to?
if you want to get the cat to do something that endorses this plan, then that would be a die rolling situation. If you just want to look at the cat, then that's fine. But if you want the cat, to do something that communicates a position on the dolphin issue, so that you can capture it and make a GIF out of it, that would be a good thing to roll some dice for.
Oh, I'd be down for that if we can get a GIF out of it.
Okay, let's do that then. All right, so who's rolling for this? Who's gonna actually try to coax the cat into?
The thing is, we all have one die.
yeah, we're all equally likely to accomplish it. So just
Blake's the social media manager, though. Yeah.
Okay.
Or her.
Wait, should we get a stuffed dolphin, or something for the cat to interact with? Maybe try to get the cat to hug the stuffed dolphin?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna ask the cat. Would you prefer stuffed dolphin or real one?
Oh.
All right. So.
All right.
Honestly, this is why Dr. Ruffles has a campaign staff to answer these easy questions without having to be consulted. But okay.
Yeah. I rolled a 6. So.
Oh, you did get a 6?
I did get a 6 somehow.
Okay, awesome.
1 in 6 chance.
All right. Yeah. So you've now spent that die, so you're down to 0 dice now. Oh, and actually, you could have rolled 2 dice. You get to roll everything you have plus the cat die, which means you always get that one extra. It also means that even if you're at 0 dice, you can still roll because you just rolled out the 1 cat die. So I won't make you re-roll it because you did get a 6 on your roll of just 1. But yeah, so you're down to no dice of your own left. All right, so the cat is going to respond in a way that increases her standing in the polls. So
it really doesn't matter.
Tell us what that is. Describe it for us.
I think so. Yeah. Emma turns to the cat, and we all kind of turn to Dr. Ruffles. Have we described what Dr. Ruffles looks like, actually?
No, we haven't. So I can tell what I've been envisioning, and folks can chime in if they think this sounds good, is that Dr. Ruffles is super fluffy, long hair and kind of a beige or off-white kind of color.
What's
yeah,
the,
no, I was. Oh, go on. Go on, Barry.
what's the kind of cat that has like the totally like flat face?
Oh yes, yeah, yeah. I don't know the breed names, but yeah, I know what you mean. The smush
Yeah,
face.
yeah,
cat.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think that sounds good. Fluffy and smush face.
Okay, so I think yeah, in response we all look at it and I was like, yeah. So should we go fluffy or real? And the cat looking at us blankly just goes, "Hmm. All right, he's all right. She said real. All right, we have to get a real dolphin then.
Okay.
Yeah, she
Awesome.
pointed at the hand.
Awesome. Yeah. So you make a little like GIF out of that, I guess. Put that out on social media, and so we've gone up. We're at 60% in the polls now.
Yeah, I think
because
the
of that.
caption is that Dr. Ruffles' response to recent insidious mayor's proclamation.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So I think that's a good spot to wrap this scene. So the last thing that we do in the scene is we go around and we each name the other character in the scene that we are jealous or resentful of because of what they did. And that person will get an additional die. So I'll go first. And I think I'm going to award mine to Blake for both arguing about the killer whale policy initially and for capturing Mayor Cat's GIF there. I think I'm a little jealous of that. So, Sarah, tell us who Emma is jealous or resentful of.
I am also jealous and resentful of Blake. That's a really good GIF, and there are probably immediately like 100 comments, often the same person.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, Barry, who is Harper jealous or resentful of?
Harper is jealous of Emma because it sounds like Emma is going to get her hands on something that the good doctor is really going to like, and that she's going to curry such favor.
Okay. And Leandro, who is Blake jealous or resentful of?
Probably Emma as well for even thinking that killer whales had a predator. They're the apex, of their food chain. I mean, come on, learn some facts,
Sounds good. Okay, and Larry, who is Dick jealous or resentful of?
Was it Teresa who like pointed out the really obvious flaw in what Dick said about like, well, what are we going to do to get rid of the killer whales? I think it was Teresa.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, I'm resentful of Teresa for making that like very reasonable point.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. So. All right, cool. So that's how one scene goes. So we can then move on. So Sarah, you get to kick off our next scene. So you can pick any of those scene prompts to have either our campaign do or the incumbent campaign do.
All right, so I'm going to kind of tie this into what I was going to do later. We have gotten an influential endorsement, and the influential endorsement is the population of the walking dolphins.
Okay.
In town. So we see this scene happen as if from the point of view of the camera, and it's Dr. Ruffles and all of us kind of like arrayed behind her, and there are a pair of walking dolphins in the shot as well, and the interviewer is just asking them questions about their feelings about Dr. Ruffles and like how can you get along with the cat, that sort of thing, and it's just that high-pitched squeaking and then meows.
I love it.
I'm not going to lie, I was really hoping to hear you do the squeaking just now, Sarah.
Awesome. Yeah, and I think the reporter kind of comes over to the rest of us and asks us, for our input. And I think the reporter, well, let's say it's Kevin McQuillan, the news anchor, who is covering the other stuff as well, and comes over and comes up to me first, and it's really awkward, right? Because we used to be coworkers. We had this little banter when he'd like throw it over to me for the weather, and I'd throw it back to him for sports or whatever, I think, and I'm going to use my special move because I think I pull out a study from the political science department at Queensport University. And they actually did a study that showed that the name of the study is Dolphinmocracy, because they showed that democratic institutions are stronger in cities that have granted the vote to dolphins. And they did like a whole statistical analysis of it and showed that in cities where dolphins can vote, there's like, more civic engagement and lower levels of corruption and all these other nice sounding things. And so I kind of, summarize the story and, or the study, and give a little shout out to these, political science professors that did this study, and Kevin's kind of nodding along as I'm trying to
I have a
explain
question.
all this. Yeah.
Is anyone watching the cat?
Currently, no. You can take another die and then tell us what kind of trouble the cat has gotten into.
Wait, what's everyone else doing? Why is no one watching the cat?
For some reason, I have 3 dice, but I think I should only.
You
have...
started with 1, and 2 people gave you dice at the end of that last scene. Yeah, so you should have 3. Yeah, tell us what kind of. So you take another one, and then tell us what kind of trouble the cat got into.
The cat has gone missing. Like, we're in a fairly open area, and we're all leaning in to hear what's happening with the news anchor. And when we turn around, the dolphin's still there, but the cat is gone.
Okay.
I think why I know why Blake isn't paying attention, because like she's trying to tape her phone to a golf club because she forgot to bring a selfie stick, and she was gonna live stream it and kind of like show up that Dick Dickerson. It's technically your job. I'm gonna do it, but you can hear in the background this like scotch tape just being wrapped around his phone.
I have a question that I threw in the chat that I'm just going to ask now. Is Bring the Whales too real to put on a sign?
I think that sounds great.
Okay. So Harper is after the initial shot of the endorsement, Harper has exited camera to the right to go confront some counter protesters who are all holding these great big signs that say "Bring the Whales," and so she's pulled out a cell phone to collect footage of them and get their faces, so that way we can prove them as known ne'er-do-wells.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bunch of high school kids, and they're all the worst.
Oh, no. I'm trying to avoid them because I don't want them to recognize me.
I was going to ask, do you recognize them?
Oh, yeah. They tormented me. I think maybe as press secretary, I was supposed to be watching Dr. Ruffles. So this is actually totally my fault. And so to make up for that, or to cover my ass, I'm going to well, the reason I got distracted was because I saw the anchor Kevin McQuillan talking to Teresa, which really like upset me because like I feel like I should be the intermediary with the press. And so I was like busy looking at that interaction. Cat goes missing, and now I'm going to try to spin it by planting an anonymous tip with McQuillan. Wait, I guess it's not anonymous. It's coming directly from.
It's anonymous if you wear a different
email
mustache.
him.
If I wear a different mustache.
Yeah, I like the idea that Dick has just this like this case of different mustaches that he swaps on.
It's like in the inside of my jacket or something, like my oversized like sport coat that doesn't, ill-fitting sport coat, way too big. Yeah, put on different mustache, go over to McQuillan. It's like, I heard that the Mayor Ellis, maybe behind this kidnapping of Dr. Ruffles, actually hired outside help.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I think this would be a good situation where you should name somebody else to tell us what Kevin's reaction to that tip is.
I don't know. Does anybody want to volunteer, or I can just randomly pick somebody?
Yeah, just pick somebody.
Sarah.
Okay, I was going to volunteer. Good job. So yeah, Kevin, kind of, he's probably a fair bit taller than you because you're only in high school. But he kind of looks at you like up and down, and then eyes the mustache. But then he turns around and like notices, and he says, "Oh shit, the cat's gone."
That's what I'm telling you.
You're saying, and he takes his microphone and kind of puts it in your face. Thomas, come here. We need to get this interview done. The mayoral candidate has gone missing, kidnapped, they're saying. Breaking news. Puts the microphone in your face. Please, what did you say your name was? I'm here with a member of the public who has just reported that our incumbent, our good mayor, Jefferson Ellis, may be involved in a kidnapping. Tell us your story.
Well, like I said, I was, the cat was there 1 second and then he wasn't.
And you're accusing the mayor, Jefferson Ellis, of this dastardly plot.
Harper hears the word accusation and like drops her phone on the sidewalk and like runs over and puts her hand up in the camera and says, "This interview is over."
I think the taping has finished, and Blake's kind of like, "All right, I used up an entire roll of tape, but I'm ready to live stream this."
Yeah, and Kevin like turns to you, Harper, and starts trying to get the story out of you. But are you just shutting him down, or?
Of course, the Ruffles campaign is not going to comment on on speculation or rumor at this point, and we would just
or ongoing investigations.
Yeah, so we'd like the media to cooperate with law enforcement during the ongoing investigation of precisely what happened to our candidate.
Of course. No, I understand. The police officers have my full support, as they know. I will send a request for official comment to your offices later today. Immediately, actually, and he like pulls out his phone and sends you a text. Sends Dick Dickerson a text, actually. So your phone goes off.
I'm frantically trying to put it on silent.
We look forward to hearing your statement on this matter, and I would like to let the legal or I would like to let the campaign staff know, in all seriousness, my heart goes out to all of you and to the voters of this town in this difficult time. Cut. Good job, Thomas.
I've kind of sidled up to Teresa, and Emma's like, "Where's the cat?"
I don't know. Yeah, so we got to get the cat back.
Can't be that hard. Like Queensport isn't that big, is it?
Mechanics question here.
Yeah.
Does any item needed by the campaign, no matter how rare or illegal, include Dr. Ruffles?
How dare you objectify Dr. Ruffles like that?
I feel like it slightly goes against the spirit of the move to say that includes Dr. Ruffles.
That is totally fine. All right. Then I turn to all of you and yell, "Scatter!"
Is this like an attack formation?
Are we going to split up and search the city?
I think so.
Is that our plan? Okay. Yeah, I think Teresa is... Yeah, so why don't we each describe where we go and what we... where we go to look for the cat.
I'm gonna go to the nearest bar.
Okay.
My logic is that Dr. Ruffles is a doctor, and you know what doctors are? Hardworking. And you know what hardworking people are? They party hard. And what's the hardest way to party than to drink? So I'm gonna go to the nearest bar.
Okay, so if I can propose, I think the nearest bar. I feel like we're close to Queensport University, so the nearest bar is like the slightly shady one that all of the underage kids drink at. So there's like all of these college students in there with their fake IDs, all drinking like the cheapest beer that they can get because that's all they can afford.
Queensport Ice.
Yeah.
Where's everyone else going?
I'm going to the Queensport Animal Clinic because I would really hate for Dr. Ruffles to be tricked into an elective surgery that they do not want or need. I don't precisely know, but Dr. Ruffles has people to read contracts, and if we're not there, there's going to be a problem.
Okay.
Emma is going to go to some there's probably a radio tower in town or a water tower. She's going to go to the water tower and lay out about 20 cans of this amazing high-end cat food that she has and just start blowing on them in the hopes that the wind will
dolphin-free cat food.
I love it.
And Dr. Ruffles will be attracted by it and come.
Okay.
I think Dick is just like in a panic because again, like this is probably on him. So I think he's just kind of like just running around in circles. Maybe with the Dr. Ruffles like favorite jingly toy with a little bell on it or something like that, and hopes that Dr. Ruffles will respond.
Okay, and I think that Teresa is reasoning, okay, Dr. Ruffles is a cat. What a cat's like? Boxes. Where do you get a lot of boxes from? Amazon.com. So Teresa is going to go to the local Amazon distributor warehouse and see if Dr. Ruffles has hit the box jackpot, the jack box, if you will, there.
I think Jackbox is a copyrighted term of Jellyvision Studios, but
I knew that the word sounded familiar, but yes, you're right. Okay, so the non-copyright infringing box jackpot. at the Amazon fulfillment
Sorry, I just
center.
wanted to keep you out of any potential legal troubles.
Yeah. Okay, and so I think that to figure out who succeeds there, who wants to roll some dice to see if you've managed to find Dr. Ruffles.
I will roll.
Okay, you got a lot of them there.
And I roll all of them?
Yep, you roll all 4 of yours plus 1 more. That's the cat die. So you roll 5d6.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yep, and as long as you get at least 1 6, then the Dr. Ruffles will respond in a way that improves her standing in the polls.
So I did. I got 2
got a couple 6s. All right. Yeah. So what does Dr. Ruffles do in response to your cat food scent wafting?
So I think she walks pretty much the entire length of town. The water tower is on the opposite side of town, so like everyone gets to see her pass by in the street. She just walks. She's too dignified to run. But at the end of it, there's this shot of her standing on the edge of the water tower with like this breeze coming up and just ruffling her fur in just the perfect way. And I get a photo of that.
Excellent.
And then email it to our media person.
Okay, awesome. All right, and so we all get that, so we all know now where that Dr. Ruffles has been located. That's probably a good point to end the scene, you think?
Yep.
Okay, so now we each again award a die to whoever we thought, whoever we are jealous or resentful of in the course of this, and I think I'm definitely giving mine to Emma. Because I was not a fan of the whole fancy cat food thing from the beginning, but now the fancy cat food actually helped us, and I'm, kind of annoyed that I can't like criticize you for the fancy cat foods so much anymore. So, Sarah, who is Emma jealous or resentful of?
Let's see. She is jealous of, of Dick Dickerson. And can I do 2 people?
You could talk about 2 people, but you only get to give 1 person a die.
All right. Then I'll give the die to Dick Dickerson. But I'm also jealous of Harper because they both got screen time on local television, and I did not.
I think I am resentful of Blake today because if she would have just brought her selfie stick, she wouldn't have had to get that noisy tape out, and you know how much Dr. Ruffles hates the sound of tape coming off of a roll.
Hey, look, technically I didn't own that selfie stick anyway. I think Blake is resentful of. I think she's resentful of Dick Dickerson because, my God, you're trying too hard. You're setting yourself up for such a fall. Like you don't realize what this industry does to you, Dick. You don't have to try so hard. Like this is like it's too much. You should just come with me and got drunk with the blokes over at Queensport U. Wait, oh, I mean, I assume you can drink legally, of course.
I mean, look at my mustache. Come on. Yeah, I think I'm resentful of Harper. I mean, she actually kind of bailed me out, but like I would never admit that. And like interrupted my news, TV news moment. So I think I feel some kind of way about that.
I saved you a libel charge is what I did, but I'll accept it.
Great. All right, so that's scene number 2. So Barry, you want to kick off our next scene?
I would love to. I would also love if we could take just a real short break.
Oh, sure. Why don't we just go ahead and take our bio break right now, if that's cool with everybody?
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, so I'll see you all in 5.
Okay.
All right.
I read the rules for the debate. I'm just shaking my head. It's gonna be so much.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how it works because I ran this. I tried running it as a 2-player game, just myself and my partner did a run through of it, and the debate was a little awkward 2-player. So I'm excited to see once we have a full complement of people here. So.
Yeah, I'll just apologize. Like I'm really freaking tired tonight, so
yeah,
I'm gonna try to stay focused.
And
You're
so
doing awesome. Oh my God, Larry.
Yeah, we can also reconsider. So after the debate, we'll finish each of us running a scene. We'll do the debate, and after the debate, if folks are getting tired, we could skip straight to election day instead of doing, because normally the rules as written, we'd do a second round of scenes after the debate. But because I know it's late for some folks, and my work tomorrow got canceled because of the polar vortex, but other people may have to be up bright and early and so forth. So we'll see where we are after the debate. So Sarah, are you there? I know you've got your camera turned off. You're there? Okay, awesome. So we can get started. So next scene would be Barry's scene. So tell us what's going on.
So Harper has written a vicious attack ad that will be airing on. Did we establish what the call sign for our local station is?
No, so go ahead and make one up for us.
Oh, it's got to be like WQS or WQSP or something, and there's no good way of saying it. So so we've bought some television time, and it runs during Wheel of Fortune, which airs at 7 o'clock in some parts of town and 7:30 in other parts of town. It's just weird like that. And so the ad comes on, and it's a picture of Jefferson Ellis with like kind of a red overlay, and it says, "Fact: Jefferson Ellis is a minority shareholder in Warner Brothers Studios who just celebrated the 25th anniversary of Free Willy. Fact: Jefferson Ellis is using anti-dolphin sentiment to propose bringing orca whales in at expensive cost to this city. Fact: Free Willy 25th anniversary DVD sales missed internal Warner Brothers projections. Is Jefferson Ellis using his political power to oh shit, I didn't write this part. I was sorry. Is Jefferson Ellis using his political power to enrich himself?" And then it cuts to Dr. Ruffles standing up on top of the water tower, and it says, "Only one candidate has all of Queensport in mind." And so like the one shot that we have then goes to a shot that was like very clearly like just an insert of like helicopter footage of Queensport. And it says vote Dr. Ruffles 2019 special election. This political ad was not endorsed by any candidate.
So we're not taking responsibility for this ad?
Oh no, why would we do that?
Yeah,
we did not coordinate with anyone in the production of that ad.
Yeah, but I imagine we're probably getting some phone calls about it, right? Once this airs.
Yeah. So like back at the campaign headquarters, the phone is ringing off the hook, and so who would be concerned about this ad? Who's calling in about it?
Is it like the FEC calling us?
That sounds really serious. I'm okay with it, but yeah.
I mean, there's other options. It could be Warner Brothers calling us about these scurrilous accusations that we're making.
Look, I can't help that their internal projections got leaked.
Maybe there's like one other person in town who is a minority shareholder in Warner Brothers. They bought a share like 20 years ago and just held on to it and never sold it. And they are
Right.
outraged that we've outed a fellow shareholder.
A fellow brother.
Mhm.
I'm not quite sure where to go with it from there. Help.
Well, yeah, I think we could get a visit from this other, and so we'll say this guy's name is Warren Broder, and he bought the share just because the company's name kind of sounds like his name. So it wasn't any sort of like sound investment decision.
No, it was literally a sound investment decision.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I think Warren Broder comes and is like knocking on the campaign headquarters door, very angry that we're casting aspersions on shareholders in Warner Brothers. And he's like yelling at us at that. I think we've got the door closed, and so we can like hear him faintly through the glass. He's yelling at us.
I would like to note, just for the record, that has Dr. Ruffles and is giving him scritches.
Okay.
That is important.
Good save. I was about to ask.
Yeah. So yeah, Teresa's like, what do we do about that guy? Can we get him to go away? I mean, I think she like dials like the mall security, like
Harper, go threaten him with a lawsuit.
the one mall cop that still patrols this declining mall here. So Larry, why don't you tell me what the mall cop says when I call him up to be like, there's this guy outside our headquarters that's being a jerk. Can you get rid of him?
Does he have a gun?
I'm like looking at. I don't think so. He's got like a
Click.
paper that I think like is.
I think I like the idea of like Harper like hitting this guy with like a cease and desist letter. Like, I think Emma already brought it up. I'm like, yeah, Harper, like just you've got to have a cease and desist letter like already prepared, right?
Oh yeah, I think that like I'm flipping through my my briefcase and like looking for boilerplate, like just looking for any like any kind of boilerplate language that I could just like stick in this guy's face and hopefully make him go away.
Restraining order, Harper. Do you have one of those?
Yeah, I pull one out and I just like I fill in like a couple of spots that like I would normally like you would normally send this off to a clerk to then have typed up to then like put in front of a judge, but like this looks official enough. Emma, hold Dr. Ruffles for just a second, will you? And I open up like a little ink pad so that I can take Dr. Ruffles' paw and get his little beans and like stamp the bottom of the order with it.
Yeah. Well, I think you're gonna have to roll the dice if you want to try to get Dr. Ruffles to stamp his beans.
I do want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got 2 dice, so you'll roll 3d6.
Okay, here
Anyone
goes.
wants to help or no?
I don't think that I think the game is silent on helping rules. I got 2 6s.
Oh,
I got 2
wow.
6s.
All right, we're rolling real well today. All right, so we're gonna shoot up to 80% in the polls. Tell us how this goes down.
So I take the restraining order out, and Warren Broder is out there just like yelling to get like anyone's attention, and then like someone finally opens the door to him. Excuse me, and so I go out to him and I hold up this sheet of paper and I say, Sir, if you don't stop pestering us here at the campaign, we are going to have to ask you to. We're going to have to file a summons with you. And then he sees the little bean stamp at the bottom of it, and he says, "Hey, that's not the seal of Queensport." And he takes it to go like file a grievance with the mall, like with the property management company that we're like trying to misrepresent ourselves legally here. And what's the biggest competing website to the one that you work at, Blake?
I think. Oh, geez, what's a? I think it's. Do you guys remember Dig?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I think this one's called Doug.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So
right.
like Doug gets the paperwork because like the mall does not care about this. Like the rent check cleared. They don't care about this particular issue. Like if Mr. Broder has a problem, like wait 2 months because they'll be out of here in no time. But this complaint with this adorable like bean paw stamp as like in lieu of a signature is just so adorable that like the electorate is like, oh, that's how he could sign bills, of course.
I do also want to say the reason why Blake has been silent throughout this entire scene is because she's not been watching TV. She's looking at her laptop screen, big headphones clamped on, and not paying attention. And the moment Warren Broder lives, she just leaps up from her chair and just shouts, "You can make the jump, Free Willy! I know you can do it!" Oh, what's happening here?
Traitor.
What? But I said Killer Whales are off. Oh my God, he did it! He did it!
It was a piece of propaganda.
Oh, jeez. So I think that as you're cheering for Free Willy there, I think Teresa goes up to Dr. Ruffles and whispers in Dr. Ruffles' ear that Blake is betraying the good doctor's campaign promises by being pro whale here, and I would like to roll to have Dr. Ruffles put Blake in her place. Okay, so I've got 2 dice, so I'll get to roll 3d6 here. And I did not get any 6s. So we're gonna get down in the polls a little bit here. And I'm out of dice. So I think that Dr. Ruffles kind of jumps at Blake, because you're getting all excited about this movie and kind of jumping up and down, and Blake Dr. Ruffles kind of jumps at you, and so you have to you stumble and fumble a little bit, and you had a tweet that you had been getting ready to send. You were working on composing this tweet for the campaign. You hadn't finished it, but as you're fumbling, you hit the send button too early, and so we sent out this half finished tweet. It's like a Cub Fifi kind of situation, right? Where you send out this sort of stump of a tweet, and everybody sees it, and they're like, what the heck is this? Why is Dr. Ruffles sending this weird tweet with this nonsense word in it? And so we go down in the polls a little bit from that. And I'm trying to think of good, like what the tweet actually says.
Is it something about whales?
Yeah.
Yeah, something about whales. This is why I don't work as an actual social media.
Maybe it's like, I think whales are, and then some nonsense word.
I think whales are, and then like an accidental like copy and paste from the synopsis of Free Willy.
Yeah,
I think whales are. The film begins with a pod of orcas swimming near the coastline.
Yeah. No, that's good. And it just like cuts off in the middle randomly because it hits the Twitter character limit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you accidentally send that tweet out, and people are like, "What the heck is this? Very unprofessional operation being run by Dr. Ruffles."
I think I say that as well to Isa. What the heck? This is a very unprofessional operation.
Yeah. Awesome.
I'm not allowed to watch my movies in peace.
Yeah. So, Barry, do you think we've reached the end of this scene?
Yes, I think we've done great.
Okay. Cool. So let's go around and hand out some more dice here. So I think that I'll award one to Harper for getting that nice toe beans print there, because the cat did what you wanted the cat to do, and so I'm a little jealous of that after the whole Free Willy tweet fiasco. Yeah, Sarah, you're breaking up there.
Oh, there's nothing else I can do, unfortunately.
How about if I go and then maybe we come back? Would that work?
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Okay. I'm going to give a die to Emma because like even though she had to get like leftover cat bean ink prints all over her clothes after I did that, Dr. Ruffles was like making biscuits and like doing the little the adorable cat thing where they push their paws into somebody, and on top of that, she told me how to do my job, and no one should have to do that. Maybe she's back.
Maybe. Is this any better?
Yes, we can hear you.
That sounds better, yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Sarah, I awarded Emma a die for even though you got like cat print on you from keeping Dr. Ruffles on your lap. She was like she was doing the thing where like she pushes her paws like into you and like kneading, like making biscuits or whatever. Plus, you told me how to do my job. Oh, you're a robot again. Blake, isn't there anything you can do about this?
Oh, wait. Who's Sarah giving a die to?
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think I'm going to give a die to Emma because I think her dislike of killer whales has become completely irrational. Like, they have the word killer on their name. What other animal has that? Yeah, so Emma gets a die from me.
Okay, I added that for her. Okay, and Larry.
Just for the record, there's a kind of bird called killdeer. So, just so you know. I think I'm going to give the think I'm going to give my resentful die to Harper, because yeah, like he pulled out the even though I guess I encouraged him to do it. He's kind of saved the day with the restraining order and all that. So I think he's looking too good.
Okay. All right. So, Landro, you want to kick off our next scene?
Yeah, I think the incumbent campaign is going to strike back. They're going to reveal some dirt on Dr. Ruffles. And how this kind of goes is that I don't know which character does it. Which character most likely would have someone who's friendly with the rival campaign?
I mean,
I don't want to just say mine.
Maybe
go on.
in my previous life, I was the personal shopper for like their media person.
J'accuse. No, I think, yeah. So maybe maybe a friend of yours who works at the campaign is just sends a message saying, "Heads up, this ad is going to air in 10 minutes, so you better have something prepared as soon as it goes up." And they send a GIF of what they think is the smoking gun in the middle of the ad. Like the ad is like, as usual, when it airs, you can add like whatever accusations they show, but in the middle of the ad there's home video footage at SeaWorld, and it's just looking around near where the dolphins are, and then you see slinking out the corner is Dr. Ruffles, just peering, and goes up to the edge of the pool, and this cute, perfect dolphin that's just, it's like, it's just that that snub nose, and it's chirping. It goes near to the cat, and Dr. Ruffles just starts batting at it really hard. And yes, the attack is basically like, Dr. Ruffles is a hypocrite of the highest caliber, and and I think, I don't know, does Emma, do you share that to our WhatsApp group or whatever else?
Yeah, I get like, are we in the office right now, or?
Could be anywhere. I'd say I was either going to be the office, or I don't know, we're at a Burger King having like dinner.
Let's be at Burger King just for a change of scenery, I think. Yeah. We've had several scenes at the campaign headquarters.
All right, so yeah, I immediately like start passing my phone around. Guys, look at this. Look what happened. That's really even him? It can't be. Dr. Ruffles wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I take your phone, I hold it up next to Dr. Ruffles so we can like compare the cats. It's like, it looks close to me.
We really should have gone with the killer whale vote.
Yeah, but the killer whales don't live here yet, so they wouldn't meet the registration deadline. Speaking of which, we need to do that dolphin voter registration drive. We got to put that on the to-do list. After we deal with this ad, but we got to put that on the to-do list. Registration.
I think I know how to solve this. We find another cat who looks enough like Dr. Ruffles that it would be easy, and we get that cat to say that it was him and not Dr. Ruffles.
And I think as we're sitting there eating our big fish sandwiches that like are of questionable origin at this point, I think the ad comes on WQSP on the television that is always tuned to WQSP, and like in the GIF that they sent us, it's clear that that's the footage that they're going with, but that leaves us even less prepared for the ad, where it's an interview with the dolphin in question, saying that Dr. Ruffles, like in addition to swiping at his like adorable like bottlenose, that he was also using really hateful language at him, calling him a tuna, the chicken of the sea, and so the full context of the GIF that we got did not fully prepare us for this.
Wow, that's harsh. So we got to find a cat that looks like Dr. Ruffles and hates dolphins to take the fall for that. All right. That was my cat. Monks just jumped over there. Monks, who became mayor in the earlier game of this that I played.
Aww.
So, but unfortunately does not look enough like Dr. Ruffles to be the doppelganger.
Got out of politics and didn't want to be a campaign advisor, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, so we just need to find a cat that can pass physically for Dr. Ruffles and is also like desperate enough that like we can, buy them out or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think we need to go to like the local animal shelter because those are the most desperate animals.
Of course, we will adopt them.
Yeah. We'll adopt them. They won't be euthanized. Oh God. Or like that's too grim. Maybe they won't be like spayed or neutered. How about that? We'll save them from that. And in exchange, they'll take the fall for this. But like they're not exactly like a complete doppelganger. Like we have to like dye their hair, like give them like a makeover or something like that. Fluff them out.
Give them like cat extensions.
Yes.
So when we cat, they look nothing like Ruffles.
So what are we doing with Dr. Ruffles while we make our trip to the animal shelter, though?
Yeah, I was gonna say, where is Dr. Ruffles?
Is anybody paying attention to Dr. Ruffles?
Are cats allowed in a Burger King? We probably should have decided.
I think we established the cat was with us at the beginning of the scene because I was showing her the image.
Oh yes.
To compare it. Yeah, but so the question is
who was looking at the gallery of like Adopt a Kitty on the animal shelter's website?
Mm-hmm.
I guess Dick was probably looking up like the closest animal shelter. It's like I figured this out. Possible
matches include 2 dogs.
So I think Teresa actually does not want to come along on this mission because I think that this whole like mocking up a doppelganger thing, it goes against the meteorological code of ethics, which she has internalized. Just like you wouldn't take footage of a cyclone and call it a hurricane, right? You can't take footage of a cat and fake it to look like a different cat.
The doctorate doesn't transfer photographically.
Right.
I think that Harper will definitely go with Dick to the animal shelter because if Dick signs the adoption papers, that's not a binding contract because he's not old enough.
You don't know that.
I have concerns. I mean, you need someone to witness it, so or something. I don't know how cat contracts work.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Does it take time to adopt a cat?
They have to do a home visit.
I think at this point Blake's kind of like, okay, just pick the cat and I'll do my magic hacking into the system so we have it.
But wait, they can't know. It can't be connected to, because if they know it's connected to the campaign, then someone might figure out our
So
scheme.
we gotta.
So
people
I'm gonna put on
underestimate me.
another mustache. I'll get the cat.
Wait.
No one will be the wiser.
You have multiple mustaches?
Yeah, like remember inside my my oversized sport coat. And then we can have a makeover scene back over at the and like in the back room of the Sephora.
I mean, it does make sense that our campaign headquarters is in Old Sephora, and we're going to do this makeover.
Exactly. But who's gonna like help with the extensions? Can somebody on staff do the extensions? Like, I mean, I think that's no one's. Yeah, it's probably closest to Emma. Like, but I'm not sure. Oh no, we lost Emma.
Oh. Yeah, give her a minute to come back.
Yes, I will volunteer myself to do the cat makeover.
Woohoo!
don't even want to know where you get all the rest of this cat fur from.
That is a trade secret, sir, ma'am.
I would imagine it just comes from brushing Dr. Ruffles every day.
Oh,
like,
right.
Have you ever brushed a cat? You get like an entire another cat's worth of fur off of them.
I guess the question is, why have you been saving up Dr. Ruffles' fur all this time? A little weird.
Well, you never know.
Look, if the campaign goes south, we're going to need to recover some of these expenses in some sort of way. And so, like we've already drawn up plans for the commemorative the commemorative like repurposed Beanie Baby cat for Dr. Ruffles figurine. But now we got to go all in on this plan. We need this fur.
So does this require a roll or something, or how does this?
I feel like the makeover definitely does. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say this, since we're making up this other cat. What is this other cat's actual name? We should give this other cat a name.
Vladimir.
Vladimir.
Wow.
Okay, so yeah, because I think since we're trying to make Vladimir look like Dr. Ruffles, I think that might be a thing to roll for. So who's in charge of the makeover here? Is that Emma's doing that?
Yeah.
So why don't you roll for that? So you'll have
okay.
So is the role like we have to get Dr. Ruffles to stay still so that we can?
So what the role decides is whether the thing that you're doing with the cat causes our campaign to go up or down in the polls. So then after you roll it, you can describe the outcome however you want. It's just, does it lead to us going up or down in the polls is basically the question the dice are answering.
Okay. All right. So I have 3 dice.
So you roll 4.
Ooh. Nope. No success.
Uh-oh.
Not a 1.
All right, so tell us how the makeover goes and why we drop back to 60% in the polls because of this.
So the makeover, on the surface, it looks like it's really good. But when we take the interview video of him telling us that it was actually him, the hair starts falling off. And it is revealed that Dr. Ruffles' world is made aware of our
deception. Okay. Yeah, that would definitely lose us some support there.
Yeah, I think when that happens, Blake's looking through social media. Yeah, there's no hashtag saying Vlad for mayor.
Wait, what?
Spoiler candidate getting in the race.
Yeah, no. Well, no one's campaigning. It's just people like their hashtags. Basic social media 101. We might want to keep this cat away from anyone who wants to take advantage of it. Being said by a campaign who took advantage of it.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think unless anyone else wants to do anything, I think we can end there at that crushing failure.
Yeah, that sounds good.
There's no Vlad for Mayor campaign. So.
Okay, so now the resentment or jealousy. So I think I'm gonna award mine to Dick for signing the fake adoption papers, which goes against the meteorological code of ethics. And Dick seems to have a pattern of encouraging the violation of the meteorological code of ethics. It's just one more instance of this.
Nice, thank you.
Or worse in the first place. On better, but that's not your fault.
All right, so Sarah, can you say that again? You broke up a bit there.
I'm giving a die to Blake for finding us this cat in the first place.
Okay, Blake.
Okay, all right. Yeah, Vlad's my okay. I got an idea for that.
Harper's going to give Dick a die because Larry, if you'll permit me, tell me if this is cool with you. When we went to go find the cat to adopt, you made me pick up all of the and check all of the animals, which means that the cat smell got onto not stinky to humans, but Dr. Ruffles hates it, and I had to pick up all these cats. No,
So
that's
Dr.
not the right
Ruffles-
one. That's not the right one. Dr. Ruffles won't come near me now.
Nice. Yeah. That's cool.
Cool.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I think I'm gonna give my reasonable die again to Emma, because if we had just gone for the killer whale vote early on, and she's always had something against killer whales. Again, what's up with that? I'm really fixated on this killer whale thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, oddly there's like two Emmas now for some reason, but okay, yeah, I'm gonna give mine to Emma as well. I blame her for screwing up the makeover and causing us to go down the polls.
Aw.
Sarah, are you there?
There's two sets of hands.
Yeah, there's two Sarahs.
She's multiplying.
I accidentally cursed Sarah's internet in a game in November, and it's been like this ever since. I'm so sorry.
Can you hear me, Belle?
Right now, we
yeah.
can.
Okay, cool.
Yay.
Okay, so we got one more scene before the debate. So Larry, tell us how this scene kicks off.
Yeah. Let's see. Trade community event, divisive campaign promise. I think disrupting a campaign rally could be interesting. And does it depend? It can be either like our campaign or their campaign getting disrupted, right? It doesn't matter.
Right. It could be either one.
maybe it can be. Maybe it's our campaign rally, and I think maybe it's getting disrupted by. Maybe it's getting disrupted by they've got like the people like who have like the worst of the worst cat allergies. Like they got the people with the worst cat allergies, and they've like planted them in our audience, and like they're up front, and they're like just getting, like they're just, it's just mucus and crusty eyes, and they're coughing and sneezing all over the place, and you can barely hear Dr. Ruffles at the podium trying to give her speech. I think that's the basic scenario.
Awesome. So
What's everyone else in this rally?
what we're all doing, yeah. So I think Teresa's going around frantically trying to like hand out tissues and stuff to all these people, not quite realizing that they're like deliberate provocateurs. She's just worried that there are all these people that are allergic to cats, but that maybe they're going to vote for us anyway, but we have to like keep them happy. So she's got a big box of tissues and she's handing them out to these people, but they're just sneezing probably louder and louder because they're deliberately trying to disrupt us.
Right. See, Teresa, that's the whole problem with your approach. Like, you're always so like, above board about things. Like, we have to do things underhandedly. So, what we can do is we can put like allergy medicine into like, I don't know, some Gatorade or whatever, and then hand it out like free drinks, and everyone likes free stuff. They'll drink it, and their allergies they'll stop sneezing.
I like the way you think. That is a good plan.
Okay.
And Emma is going to run away like right then and buy a bunch of Dayquil.
Okay. So Emma's getting the allergy medicine. I'll go buy the Gatorade. So I'll run over to the convenience store.
I think I kind of turn to Harper and it's like, okay, we need to. What's Dr. Ruffles saying now? What do we have prepared? What's the speech about what was meant to be?
And I'm I'm looking along my clipboard and tapping my pen against my chin, and like I see that Dr. Ruffles has gone off script a little bit, because what was supposed to be just a stump speech is now her talking about how like she would just like really like to run her claws up and down a stump just to get back in touch with nature a little bit. And realizing this, like my jaw just like drops open. I'm like, oh God, this is not what this is supposed to be.
Doesn't matter, Harper. What we need to do is get her to pivot even further. She needs to address this. It's always been a thorny issue, cat allergies and whatnot. Like, forget the killer whales for now. All right, we need to get her to pivot. Do you have any flashcards? Big placards.
I'm trying to think of something that could be loaded with two meanings, so that if the die roll goes well, it works one way, and if the die roll goes another way, then it's obviously misinterpreted. I need to think about it for a second. I'm sorry. My
No worries.
pun game is weak tonight.
Okay.
You know, in the meantime, we can come back with the Gatorade and allergy medicine and start distributing that.
Yeah, I think I come stumbling back with like armfuls of Gatorade from the convenience store, and we start like cracking them open, putting the medicine in, like
It's
cap
already-
it
it's
again,
already
shake it up.
No, but
Like, fun fact, I actually checked, and though like cat impersonation is against the meteorological code of ethics, weirdly enough, there's nothing about product tampering on there. Like I checked the whole code that you have to sign on to become a meteorologist. There's nothing about product tampering on there, so we are all in the clear. I will not lose my meteorology license for doing this.
that's the spirit. But if you did, it'd be worth it, wouldn't it?
That's true. That's true. But like this way, if if things don't work out, I can still go back to being a meteorologist.
All right,
You gotta
enough
keep-
talk. More drugging of people.
Free Gatorade! Free Gatorade!
Yeah. While Harper's thinking of thing, I'm just like I'm kind of doing what Dick's supposed to be doing, which is like kind of live tweeting the speech. But I've now reached. Oh my God! Dr. Ruffles is talking about how amazing it is to find that one sunbeam, and just like how luxurious it is when it's just that one, and you're lying there and you're taking up all the space, and people are like, "What are you doing? It's just one sunbeam," and she's like, "Yeah, but it's the one sunbeam," and I'm kind of tweeting it out, but increasingly like confused about it. And it's like, Harper, we need to pivot.
Okay, so like the card that I hold up to Dr. Ruffles has one simple word on it, and it's about a problem that we all face in Queensport. And that word is litter. So what I want to get Dr. Ruffles to do is to pivot to how like the Queensport that they know is one where all of our citizens pitch in and help out and keep our streets clean. And if the die roll goes badly, then I think I know what she might do.
Okay. Roll it.
Okay, so this is gonna be 5 dice, right? Because
you got 4.
Okay, awesome.
Plus you get the extra one.
Okay, thank goodness I've gotten 1/6.
Okay.
And so Dr. Ruffles launches like right into the talking points about how they used to back in the early 90s they used to call Queensport clean sport because of how clean our streets were, and ever since the Ellis Mayubernatorial inauguration, you can't even walk like half a block without running into garbage left over from then, and very thankfully she did not pivot to what I was worried about, which would have definitely involved her hopefully leaving the stage, but we don't have to find out now. And like people are thinking, yeah, this is it has been a long time since Mayor Ellis's first inauguration, and I do still see that junk all over the place.
Wait, should Dr. Ruffle say something like, under Mayor Ellis, like our city is turned into a litter box? Is that
that sounds great. that is way better than her defecating on the stage. Like
yeah, it's much better. Okay. So, Larry, does that sound like a good climax to that scene, or?
Oh yeah.
That was like to. Okay.
Very nice.
Okay. Awesome. So let's hand out some jealousy, resentment dice. So I'll give mine to Harper for that beautiful pivot in the speech there, while I was lugging Gatorade around.
And I'm going to give mine to Teresa for getting the Gatorade.
Okay.
I could have done both, and I just didn't think of it.
They probably saw it at the same place, right?
I'm sorry. I had to look up. I had to invest my brain in not listening. I'm so sorry. What were Blake and Dick up to in the scene? Blake, you got me to pay attention to the to what the candidate was how the candidate was kind of spluttering out. But I didn't hear what else. Sorry.
Dick suggested the allergy into the Gatorade.
Oh yeah. The suggestion of the allergy medicine into the Gatorade is it turns out that drugging people is a way to get what you want. That's weird. No, and it reminds me that we need to pick up some catnip for the inauguration, which is something that we should have already been on top of. So good idea, Dick, but that's just more work for us. So.
Oh, I have two choices, but since Dick has a lot of dice, I'm gonna give this one to Harper because Harper's getting all the credit for getting Dr. Ruffles to pivot, but she wouldn't have thought of that if it wasn't for me. I told her that she wasn't paying attention. She was going over legal mumbo jumbo. She didn't realize that Dr. Ruffles was talking about cat stumps and whatnot. But no, I was like, oh, Harper, you're so brilliant. I'm jealous of you. But you should be jealous of me.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it to Harper as well. I feel like me, Emma, and Teresa, we dealt with this really disruptive crowd, but Harper maybe is getting more of the credit for getting Dr. Ruffles to pivot in that seamless manner. So yeah, a little jealous about that.
Oh, I could get a dolphin elected in this town.
Oh.
Whoa, let's not get too crazy here.
Okay. All right. So the next stage is the debate. So if everybody can click over to the debate tab. So what you're going to do is next to your name, you will write a question that will be asked of both candidates at the debate. So it's got to be something that both candidates would be able to respond to. Then we will randomize those questions, and then we will each ask whatever question we have been randomly given, kind of playing the role of the debate moderator. And after you ask your question, you will pick one other person to answer as the incumbent and one other person to answer as the cat. And so you can pick whatever people you want. You can have them do it in whichever order you want. So if you're answering as the incumbent, you say what the incumbent would say as their answer to that question. If you're answering as the cat, you give the cat's answers, except you can only speak in meows and other cat sounds, since you are a cat. Then after both answers have been given, the person that asked the question gets to award a die to whoever they thought gave the better answer to that question. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking
So everybody write your debate question in next to your name there. All right, so we've got all of our questions here. So I will randomize them. Okay, so we'll just go through these questions in order, so I'll ask the first one on the list, etc. You might end up with your own question, possibly. So who's the moderator of this debate? We should actually decide.
Who's the new meteorologist?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because this isn't on the television. They aren't endorsing a candidate. Yeah.
Well, no, because the meteorologist has to be completely neutral, right? Correct. According to the code, which, yeah. So the meteorologist's name is. How about Billy Vanderhouten?
That's very good.
Okay. Yeah, so Billy Vanderhouten is there, and so Billy says, "All right, the first question for our candidates. We've gotten these questions from our live debate audience, and so the first question is: should dogs be given the vote?" And so I will ask. Let's have Larry answer on behalf of Jefferson Ellis. What's Jefferson's answer to should dogs be given the vote?
Absolutely yes. If we can have a cat running for mayor, then it's only fair that dogs should have a say in who runs this town. There's no principled way of distinguishing between cats and dogs. They're both four-legged and furry, and I would challenge my opponent to say otherwise. On what basis would my opponent try to disenfranchise the dogs of this city? It's outrageous that she would even suggest such a thing.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Ellis. And so, Dr. Ruffles, how would you respond to should dogs be given the vote? And let's have Leandro answer for the mayor, the cat. Remember, you can only answer in meows and other cat sounds and cat stuff.
I wish I had a cat now. I don't know what other cat sounds are. I think Dr. Ruffles, I think instead of in response to that, just looks and he just goes, "Yeah." That's it.
That's it.
Yes. One defiant. I don't know how you describe that. Yeah, but
okay.
I'm sorry. Did Dr. Ruffles also have glasses on that they pushed up their nose?
Maybe they pawed their.
Okay, so I was just about to give Larry the die for that, but I think the adding the paw to the glasses bit, I think the Leander gets the die, and Dr. Ruffles wins that round of the debate. That question.
Okay, one to Ruffles.
Okay. All right, so Sarah, you can ask the next question on the list.
Should the Dolphins be given driver's licenses?
Okay, so who answers for which candidate?
Let's see. Harper, you can answer for Jefferson Ellis, or Barry, you can answer for Jefferson Ellis. And Larry, let's switch it up. You are responsible for Dr. Ruffles.
Shall I go first, or shall I allow my opponent, since I answered the first question first?
Yeah, Dr. Ruffles, what is your response? Should the Dolphins be given driver's licenses?
This is very I like this, but it's very odd. Let's see. Yeah, I think Dr. Ruffles sort of, can cats clear their throats? I'm not sure.
Fur balls.
Oh, there we go. And then like kind of like very serious, like meow, 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 meow. Done. That's it.
Well, Billy, I think that you'll find that my position is consistent across species. As I hold the same that our canine citizens should have the vote and even be represented on our city council if the voters of this great electorate deem it fit. I see no reason why a dolphin should not be given a driver's license if that dolphin can pass all requisite written and in-vehicle tests. It is fortunate for our dolphin citizens that they have grown legs, which they can use to reach the pedals. No, of course they should be given driver's licenses in accordance with all the other ways that a citizen of Queensport gets a driver's license. I cede the rest of my time.
Meow, 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 meow. Hypocrite, meow.
Dr. Ruffles, you are speaking out of turn. Please keep your comments to your allotted time. For that, I'm going to give Jefferson Ellis the token. You got this question. Do not hiss at me, ma'am.
So, next question, candidate Ellis. If you're elected mayor, how will you clean up our polluted waters, which are responsible for the death of, well, these numbers can't be right, for the death of 5.3 dolphins, 101 tuna, and 45 100ths of a whippet each year? You have 2 minutes.
Who's getting what?
Yeah, who's answering for this?
You're muted, Barry.
I'm muted. Sarah, I would like for you to answer for Jefferson Ellis. And then Stentor, I would like for you to answer for Dr. Ruffles.
Okay.
Do you want to go first or should I?
I can go first, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, so Dr. Ruffles says He holds up Toby and says, meow, 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 meow. It's a 4-point plan.
And Mr. Ellis, your rebuttal?
Well, of course, I do see my opponent's point. However, I believe this is an issue that does affect our entire city, our feline citizens, our canine citizens, our human citizens even. And this is a matter that goes well beyond the timeline of this campaign and will take, in fact, several terms, I believe. And so that is so important, why I get this started right away, and so that I have the maximum amount of time to see this plan through. My opponent here, even if she's elected, there's simply not the resources and the manpower and the time involved necessary to successfully clean these waters of the pollution. Thank you.
Am I allowed to give my reasoning for why a point goes one direction or the other?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know that Billy Vanderhouten can verbalize this in the debate without violating his professional association's code of ethics. However, if Jefferson Ellis was ever going to clean up the Port District, he certainly could have done it during any time of his incumbency. And I think the 4-point plan offered by Dr. Ruffles is compelling.
Okay.
There are 4 of the points, which is very important.
So it's conveniently the number of toe beans that a cat has.
Okay. Well, moving on to our next question, which, of course, deals with our municipalities. Well, not say municipalities, but our living spaces here on Queensport. I put to you, our 2 candidates, how will you assess property values and taxes that dolphins living in the Port District pay to fund our schools and roads? I think Jefferson Ellis, Stantor, you can play Jefferson Ellis, and Barry, okay, you can play Dr. Ruffles. Jefferson, I think Jefferson can, well, either one of you can go first.
Okay. I could go first. Jefferson says, yeah, so it's very important that dolphins are paying their fair share of property taxes. And I know that some representatives of the dolphin community have stated that since their children, their dolphlings, don't go to our schools, that they shouldn't have to pay the same property taxes. But if you are living in Queensport and you want to be a part of the Queensport community, then it's part of your civic duty to support our human public schools, in addition to the underwater dolphin schools that you may wish to send your dolphlings to. So I will make sure that all dolphin property in the Port District is properly assessed by the tax assessor, and that we collect the full amount of property taxes from all dolphins.
Your rebuttal, Dr. Ruffles? So can you put that up on the screen again?
What do we have there?
Barry, you're muted.
I'm so angry.
I'm sorry.
I'm so angry. Oh,
sorry.
No. I had visual aids and everything. There was very good meowing in there. I'm very sorry.
I'm so sorry.
First. No, meow, 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 Meow meow. Meow. Meow 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 meow.
Cogent points, as always, from our ever eloquent cat candidate. And this is going to be stepping out of character. Okay, so Jefferson spat out a lot of verbiage, but this is a debate. If you need visual aids for a debate, I don't know. That's an admission that you're something's holding you back. No, I'm kidding. There's some impressive meowing. Look, I was part of a debate society. They were not up for visual aids. So I have to give this point to Jefferson. I'm not doing that just so we can tie it up. Totally not.
Okay. So
So I
give
think
us our
it's
last question.
Yeah. So this is a very difficult question. The problem that's been plaguing our city. What will you do if elected as mayor to curb the crime wave perpetrated by cats on catnip? And let's see, who hasn't been Ellis yet?
I think that's me.
Just you? Okay. So Leandro, you can be Ellis, and Sarah, have you been the cat yet? Okay, then you are Dr. Ruffles. We'll start with. I like having the. Yeah, I like Ellis going first. Ellis, what is your response?
I think Ellis puts on a dignified stance and says, "Well, Billy, I'd like to consider those cats not to be perpetrators, but victims of a blight that has been injected into their community. And so I would not want to prosecute these cats. These cats are not criminals, they are victims. They're here to be rehabilitated. And to do that, we need to curb, controls on the spread of catnip in the city. It is simply too much, and that's what we need to focus on. We do not need to impose restrictions on the cats themselves. We simply need to focus on the flow of catnip in the city, and that's where I plan to aim. Not the cats themselves, but on what's affecting them."
That is compelling. As a compassionate stance, treat the users and go after the pushers. All right. Turning now to Dr. Ruffles. This question hits home, doesn't it? Affecting your own community. What is your response?
First of all, how's my internet?
Good.
Okay. So Dr. Ruffles steps up toward the podium, up on her hind legs, and sort of smooths her fur down a little bit. And then puts her feet down on all fours as God intended.
I think the moderator, whatever his name is, he's like wiping away tears. Oh, that was a moving anecdote. Clearly, you've suffered tremendously under this blight on our society. The point goes to Dr. Ruffles.
Okay. So that's our debate. So let's count up how many of those questions did each candidate win?
It was tied to the very end, but that last one put the win to Ruffles.
Okay.
3-2.
So we're going to go up in the polls again. So Dr. Ruffles is doing excellent in the polls. We have rolled really well this game. So I had said before, I knew some folks said they were a little tired. So rules is written. We were supposed to do another round of scenes before Election Day, but I am also cool to skip to Election Day at this point while we're riding real high in the polls and just finish it out there. What do people think? How are people feeling?
Yeah, we can go out on a high note.
I like
Okay.
I like the notion of the debate being so such a motivating factor of the campaign that the election is actually called early.
Okay. They just moved the election up.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds fine to me. So who wants to do the honors? You'll roll 9 dice, and if we get a 6 in there somewhere, then Dr. Ruffles is the new mayor.
Would you like to?
Sure, if people are okay with that. Okay, so you're gonna roll 9d6. Get at least 1 6 in this pile. All right, we got 3 of them. So.
Whoa!
Congratulations to Dr. Ruffles, the new mayor of Queensport. Okay, thank you everyone so much for playing. This was a blast. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.